That's a fact.
Independent fact-checking and corrections are encouraged.
Can we get a cup of coffee in here, please?
Oh. What kind of coffee?
Damn good coffee and hot.
Oh, it's damn good coffee and hot. Looks like Kick is giving us some trouble again. Good morning, folks. It is, what day is it? It's Monday. That's what day it is. It's Monday. Oh, something going wrong with Twitter too. Hey, what's going on? All these destinations giving me problems. It is Monday, March 20th, 2023. The start of a crazy week. It's going to be a crazy week everywhere in the world, but particularly here in America. And I think most people know why. A lot of stuff going on in the political world that is going to make life a little bit crazy, especially here in the U.S. Yesterday, Mother's Day in the UK. I think the UK is the only place in the world where that's Mother's Day happens in March. Everywhere else it happens in May. Some people just got to be different. That's all. So anyway, wow, I am a little bit congested here. I'm just saying, is today the first day of spring or not? I'm not sure. I'm looking at spring 2023. First. Some folks like things scheduled down to the minute. The spring equinox will arrive early, exactly at 21:24 UTC, Coordinated Universal Time, March 20th. So yes, today, the spring equinox is today. But the first full day of spring is tomorrow. Well, that's good news. Change of seasons. So we're on our way. For me, I'm surprised I made it to spring, to be honest with you. Let's see here what's going on. William Conway says, good morning. He's on the bus heading to the Dakotas. That's a sad thing. Nobody should ever have to say I'm on a bus headed to the Dakotas. Oh my God, they should put that on my eulogy. He's on a bus. That's how they should describe people when they die. Well, he's on a bus heading to the Dakotas. That's how that's what it means. We wish William well. He's going up there to do a couple of shows with Preston this week, and then perhaps some other shows in the area, in that Dakota area. What was it? Mother's Day. So yeah, I don't know. The UK apparently celebrates Mother's Day in March, and I'm not sure why that is. Why would they have a Mother's Day, different Mother's Day than the rest of us, and how that all is going to pan out. Now, tomorrow, Friday, I mentioned that people were on Twitter were on fire now about the possibility of a Trump indictment on Friday. Of course, it didn't happen. That noise was all coming from the left, from people, well, for the most part, coming from the left, from people who hate Trump and want to see him indicted, as has been the case almost every day for the last 6.5 years. This time, the noise is coming from Trump himself, who on Friday said he was going to be arrested on Tuesday and called for his followers to protest, fight like hell to take your country back, all that kind of stuff again. Basically inciting people to, do his dirty work for him, keep him out of jail. So tomorrow, and then there was news out of I don't know where it came from, who first started reporting it, but it was all over Twitter again. And it was about the Secret Service and the FBI and NYPD all getting together and trying to coordinate this thing on how it's going to happen. They don't want to have to go to Mar-a-Lago and handcuff him. He says he's going to surrender, or Takapina, Taka, Tapakina, Tapa- Takapina, Joe Takapina, his lawyer, says he's going to surrender peacefully. That means come to New York and surrender to the indictment. Still, it could get a little wild, a little crazy. And so there is that. Here you go. Charlie Kirk, New York DA Alvin Bragg is about to arrest a leading candidate to become the next U.S. president. This is election interference. So basically, and the right is on fire about this stuff. Basically, if you're running for president, you can do anything and don't have to worry about being charged. Is the position they're going to take. Now, it's just fucking totally ridiculous, folks, to say that. And if you believe this, shame on you. If they can come for Trump, they can come for you. No, well, let them. If I bang a porn star, that's not against the law. But if I'm running for president and I bribe that porn star to stay quiet about the fact that I banged her, that's a crime. Campaign violations. Then, if I write myself a check from the campaign funds to pay myself back, that's against the law. So, yeah, and it's significant stuff. Not like, oh, these are petty crimes. It's the beginning. But this idea that if they, well, we can go for Trump, I haven't done what he's done. And if I do, they should be able to come for me. Turn it around. If they can't come for Trump, they can't come for me. Meaning, if they can't arrest him for anything ever, then they can't arrest me for anything ever. Is that the kind of country you want to live in? No, because I will be out there. Well, if I got a free pass, I'm going to be doing criminal shit all day long, and so will you. We'll all just get a free pass. Just commit crime, because if they can come for me, they can come for you. Well, yeah, if you commit the crime, you can do the time. We live in a place called Fuck Around, but it's not that far from Find Out. Now, as I said many times on the program, on every place I talk, ain't nothing gonna happen to Trump. He's not going to prison. He can't be tried. I could be wrong, of course. I don't know. Remember, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a judge. I have no experience in the legal profession at all. None. Zero. But I do know that jury trials require selecting fair and unbiased juries, people who haven't made up their mind about anything, about the defendant especially. And there is nobody on this fucking planet who hasn't already made up their minds. So he can't get a trial. He can't get a fair jury anywhere. It's impossible. It's a shame, but that's the case. So you can indict him all day long. Nothing is going to happen to him. So that's where that's at. I mean, it is what it is. Tomorrow, John Locken from Road Comics of America and Comedy Carousel will be here. Paul J says when the Rolling Stones got arrested, it only made them even more famous. I don't think Trump could get more famous. I don't, Rolling Stones, I don't even think they could have gotten more. I'm not sure it made them more famous. It maybe made them more popular. Trump can't get more. People know Trump is people who live in the Congo. People who live in where is it in Africa where they're digging up cobalt? They're using slave labor to dig up the slaves in the mines digging up cobalt. No, Donald Trump can't get more popular. So, and it is what it is. But excuse me, folks. Tomorrow, I do expect to see some knuckleheads being violent. Now, speaking of violence, it's a shame to live on Long Island today. It's shameful to be a Long Islander because of what happened yesterday. How do I start this? Well, yesterday morning, my good buddy Jordan Peterson, well, his gripe of the day was about drag queen story time in New York City and people, Proud Boys, going there to protest. He likes the Proud Boys going there to protest the story time, drag queens reading stories to children. And I made a comment that if you don't like having drag queens read stories to your children, I have a simple solution. Don't take your children to drag queen story time. It works pretty effectively. If you have a problem with it, don't bring your children there. Seems pretty cut and dry. Very simple solution. You don't like it? Don't. There's lots of shit in this world that I don't like. I don't do it. Oh, we have to protect the children. Well, if that's the way you feel, don't bring your kids there. You can't tell people how to parent their kid. If people, and I don't understand why it's important to some parents to have drag queens read their stories to their children. Why don't you read the story to your children? But that's besides. It's not my place to tell people how to parent their kids if they want to do that. Well, it's dangerous to kids. We have to protect the children. Well, how is it dangerous to kids? You think it's going to turn kids into trans people or drag queens, or you think it's going to make them gay? You really think that's the case? Because, I mean, we have about 6,000 years of documented human history where that kind of behavior has been gone on. And there's no conclusive evidence that says, oh, well, you saw a drag queen, you're going to become a drag queen. Or one read a book to you one time. Now, talking about perversion and exposing kids to drag queens trying to seduce children. They're like they're all pedophiles. Truth is, most drag queens, people don't even know the difference. Drag is a performance art. And the majority of drag queens aren't even homosexual. Never mind pedophiles. And they found one, when you bring this up, they'll find one. Guys, Garros or something like this in Houston, where a drag queen performer turned out to have a conviction for child sexual abuse from 15 years, 20 years before. Turns out he wasn't even a drag queen when he wasn't doing drag performance when he got found out and convicted. He was a family member, a friend of the family of the child who he abused, a friend of the family from church. And I said, now this went into a long fucking thread on Twitter with a guy who claimed to be a gay conservative who hates drag queens. Again, you have to understand what a drag queen is before you even start having the conversation about it. But okay, you hate drag queens. That's fine. Don't bring your kids there. Don't support it. Yeah, that's a simple solution for. And then I brought up the church stuff. Well, you want to stop parents from bringing them to these shows or readings or story time, claiming you're just protecting the children. How come you're not protecting the children at church? How many kids is the Catholic Church raping, flat out raping? every day. Parents bring their kids to church. You're not trying to stop those parents from being parents. What's got you upset is men wearing dresses over the top, because drag is an over the top performance thing. So that there's no confusion. There's no confusion because kids know, just like they know Santa Claus is daddy in a suit. They know the lady reading the book is a man. They know that. They're not confused about that. And listen, who didn't when they were a kid have some exposure to drag queens? People my age, there were plenty of them. Didn't make you want to grow up. Oh, I saw Milton Berle in a dress. I saw Some Like It Hot, Tony Curtis and Jack Lemmon with Marilyn Monroe when I was 3 years old. Didn't make me want to be a drag queen. Did not, and didn't rape me. No drag queen raped me. But if I went to church, chances are I'd be raped. Chances are a lot greater. Nobody ever complains about it. So, oh, well, you only hate the church people. Yeah, I know that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying the parents have a right to raise their child that way, and if something happens, it's on them. I need a sniff button, Carl says. Well, I need something to sniff to pick me up. Yes, I do. I'm sorry. Is my sniffing bothering you today? Not my fault. Anyway, we are on Live 365. Live 365 and iHeartRadio, and they're probably really enjoying the sniff broadcast. Carl just broke my flow with this whole drag queen thing. So I got into an argument with a complete nobody on Twitter yesterday about this thing, and then I thought, why am I wasting my time talking to this person? But it turns out the Proud Boys who went to protest drag queen story time, one of them walked away. The guy who with the biggest mouth, of course, the guy with the biggest mouth, the guy looking to start trouble, went in there to start trouble and walked away, bloodied, beaten up, crying. I came here to help, not to get my ass beat. And then the drag queens that beat him up said, "Go back to Long Island." So if you're from Long Island today and you want to know why Long Island is trending on Twitter, it's because the typical guy with a pickup truck with a certain ex-president's name, presidential candidate's name, painted on his truck and his house and all this stuff, went to beat up a drag queen and got himself beaten up and walked away bloody and crying and was told to go back to Long Island, where he came from. This is what Long Island is known for. Bagels and homophobes who get their ass kicked by drag queens and have to go home crying about it. That's our claim to fame. How we doing? We're doing pretty good with it. Anyway, so that was that on the weekend. And then Friday, right after, well, about an hour after the show, all of a sudden, lots of helicopters over my house. Lots of them. Like, what the hell's going on? I'm all of a sudden in a war zone. Choppers. And I go out and I'm looking out and I'm seeing you're going around in circles over my house. What the hell's going on? Oh, getting a phone call. Get off my phone. And so I was about to tell my wife, I don't know, something's going on. I think maybe there's like criminals in the air. Maybe it's not safe to come on. I don't call 911, see if there's like, I don't know. It looks like the cops are hunting for somebody. And on my Facebook page, there was a picture of a plane down on my beach behind my house, the Elizabeth Beach, my wife's beach, where we got married. We first met, and there was a plane right at the bottom of the hill. Somebody took a picture of it. Holy crap! and then there's a video of it coming in, plane coming in, and luckily the guy just walked away from it. But the beaches here on the North Shore are not really. They look pretty, but they're kind of hard. And this guy found that out. It's not like the South Shore beaches with nice, smooth, soft sand landing. He came in nice, but as soon as he hit the hard rocks, which all these beaches are, pebbles and rocks, he just boom and right into the edge of the water. Uh, so what is it? Bat goers, what and noisy bat goers or bar goers in flat caps? Hmm. Noisy bar goers. What does that mean? You mean bar patrons, flat caps? I don't. Why? Well, why you? Why? I don't understand. It's still Mother's Day where Carl is. It's gonna be Mother's Day all the way up until May. Anyway, uh, so yeah, plane crashed on the beach, and then the next day, two more of the same type of plane going around in circles, looking like they're coming down and gonna hit my house. And then I see them just go over the trees, look like they're going down. I don't know what happened with them, whether they actually went down or Long Island is trending again. And is it still the same reason? That's this bad guy, tough guy, gets beat up by drag queens. Yeah, it's all about him. Oh, that's a shame. That's a damn shame. You know, it's one thing to be a loudmouth and get beat up, but it's a whole other level of satisfying when you're a loudmouth and you get beat up by a guy in a dress. I don't know. Call it just me. Just call me crazy with that stuff. And so, yeah, we had a unusual weekend with the planes. It's just plain to see. Um, and then I had a gig Saturday night, and because it was only 2 weeks ago that we played this room, and I had a good gig there, I was kind of, superstitious. Superstitious. Thinking there's no way I could have two good gigs in this room back to back because I suck now. I suck worse than I ever. I never had a whole lot of talent to begin with, but as I get older, and my hearing is gone, my eyesight is going, my hands are shit. I have severe tendonitis in one hand and nerve damage in another hand. So, and I never had all that much talent to begin with anyway. So basically, I'm just like a penguin with no hands, just banging my flappers on the guitar, hoping to hit something that sounds halfway decent every once in a while. But it was a very good gig, and that room is just the best, one of the best rooms to play in, most responsive rooms. Woman came up to me before the gig. She said, "Hi, how have you been?" "I've been okay." "Do you remember me?" "Oh yeah, I remember you." "Oh, it's been so long. It's so good to see you again." "Yeah, yeah. How long has it been?" "Oh, must be at least 10 years." 10 years, almost 10 years, really. "How's life?" "Oh, good. I left Oh, you were in pathology. Okay, thank you for that. Thank you I had no idea who this woman was. Claimed she had worked with me at Stony Brook. And to be honest with you, I've been out of pathology for 20 years. So if she worked with me in pathology, that's how long it is. It's not 10 years, it's 20 years. But I don't remember her at all. And is it me? Is it dementia, Alzheimer's, all that stuff starting to set in? Possible. They all say right at the age that I'm at is when it starts, which is a scary prospect. But I don't remember this woman at all. And I was like, and I started asking her about some of the people who I do know, remember very clearly from pathology. Oh, she knew all of them. So she wasn't lying and making it up. She knows what happened to Dr. Miller and Dr. Hyman and all of my friends. And she remembers me. Anyway, I did not remember her. So now I'm panicking. I'm thinking, this is it for me. This is the Alzheimer's. It's starting. This is where I start to lose my mind. This is where the end comes. And so before we go to the end, let's all drink some wonderful Koa coffee. Koa coffee is growing on the slopes of the Mauna Loa volcano in Hawaii. It's the best coffee in America, and then with top 10 coffees in the world, according to Forbes magazine. If I were you, I'd get some now because it's really good coffee. And while you're getting your really good coffee, maybe I'll blow my nose. This episode is brought to you by Koa Coffee. If you are a coffee connoisseur and want to experience the best coffee Hawaii has to offer, no blends, no compromise, try the true taste of aloha. Koa Coffee produces premium Hawaiian coffee, hand-picked, expertly roasted, and delivered from Hawaii to your door with aloha. From award-winning 100% Kona coffee grown on the slopes of the Mauna Loa volcano to the unique mocha beans of Maui, they strive to provide their loyal customers with the best quality and freshness. Since 1997, Koa Coffee has been known far and wide as a product of utmost quality, and their awards prove it. Koa Coffee was featured in Forbes' Top 10 Coffees of the World. This is the coffee Forbes called the best coffee in America. Find out what it's all about. Go to minddogtv.com/coffee. Yeah, slash that coffee. Oh, yes. I'm about to get jugged, I think. Jugging is hot, folks. You know what jugging is? Because I never heard of it before. According to the new jugging among new crime trends posing danger on America's streets. What to know? Geez, what to know? What is jugging? Jugging sounds like a good thing. Sounds like motorboat, if you know what a motorboat is. If you watch Wedding Crashers, you know what motorboat is. But jugging, what is it? I still don't know. I've read the article now. Granted, I read the article not quite awake. It looks like Carl's here. Ladies and gentlemen. Carl's here, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, wrong thing. How are you, Carl?
That's annoying. On my phone, it takes me straight into the studio. Apologies.
I know, and what William says, he's got the same thing. It doesn't give you an option to stop in the back end. It just pops in. That's weird. Phone stuff. I don't know. It's like you're on an Apple iPhone. No, he's not an Apple iPhone. He's an Android.
I'm on Android. Maybe you have to boot me out after, and then next time I'll come in backstage. Who knows? Sorry, was I interrupting a flow about men in dresses and?
No, I was talking. No, the men in dress stuff. Yeah, no, that's just weird. I mean, because again, I think my solution is absolutely dead on 100% foolproof. If you don't like it, don't go.
Yeah, the same as anything you don't like. No one should complain about anything. Just shut up and don't look at or don't read or don't watch the thing that you don't like. That's it.
There you go. But why is that so hard?
People love to, because people were given an ability to talk, and I don't think people shouldn't have the ability to express their opinion online. That's the problem.
I don't think it's just talking. Talking would be fine, but they're going there to beat people up and all that kind of stuff.
People shouldn't be allowed to express their opinions. They shouldn't have social media. Shouldn't exist, and it gave people. They think they have the right to let people know what they think, and I don't think they do. I think they should shut up, stay home, eat their dinner, and if you meet someone else, maybe then you can talk about it. But
so, did you take your mom out for dinner? Speaking of dinner, did you do?
She's about 200 and something miles away, so no. I assume she had a great day, but I'm going to surprise her. So she thinks I haven't done anything or got her anything, but I'm going to surprise her and send it late.
Ah,
So,
that's nice. No,
well, part of the surprise is I didn't realize it was Mother's Day till yesterday. So,
I never know these things either. But at least my mother's dead.
at least, yeah, every cloud, right?
She doesn't know that I don't know it's Mother's Day. Why is Mother's Day in March for you guys? Isn't May a better time to do it? It's flowers and springtime and
I think we have. I think Father's Day's in July. I think I'd never know. I literally never know
Father's
until
Day's in June for us. See,
maybe it's June. Maybe it's June. Yeah, I don't honestly. My sister normally texts me and say, "Don't forget," and she didn't do it this time, and I forgot. So
wow. So
I'll send it
yeah,
some
so
flowers on Sunday.
I never, I saw Jamie said something that was pretty funny, but the whole thing about if you tell your mother what a great mother she is, am I, indirectly telling my wife she's not?
Yeah,
Mom,
yes, you are. Yeah, but also you're lying to both of them because neither one are the best mum in the world,
you
right?
can't. No, who's the best mother in the world?
It's got to be
Uh,
objective anyway, and that's just you just saying that, to feel like you're being.
Jane Mansfield was the greatest mother in the world.
Is she?
I don't know if she's dead, but while she was alive, she would have been.
At least
She
she's
would
dead.
she would have been made a wonderful breastfeeder. That's all I know. That's that's all I know. Yeah. So Mother's Day in the UK. Now, I have a friend who is from Malaysia, who is a Manchester United fan.
Okay.
How about that? How about that?
Yes, they're really big in Asia. They're a global brand.
Really?
A lot of clubs are because Manchester United are. I'm 2 miles from the ground. They're about. They're probably the richest club in. They don't need to get income because they've always got global income. They'll always sell shirts in Malaysia or Philippines.
That is weird.
Yeah, well, what happens is they go. Premier League's the most popular thing in the world, so everyone loves it anyway. But also pre-season, they'll go on tours in Asia. So clubs will go to China or Korea or wherever for 2 weeks, and it gets them loads of fans. So like, thank you for bringing this here, and they'll buy the shirts and they'll visit. We've got my London team, Tottenham, have got one South Korean player, and Koreans come just to go to the game.
Yeah, well, that used to happen when we had Japanese pitchers in the major leagues in baseball. Stadiums would fill up with Japanese people just to go to see Nomo. I think Hideki Nomo. But
Yeah, we
that's
can
not.
get 100 of them or more. The camera always goes to them when he's playing, and it's just like a few hundred Koreans like waving with his picture and stuff.
Do they have like a different cultural way of showing appreciation? Like anything? Because the
No, I think they're
Japanese
just
people
more.
were really polite.
They're generally more respectful and happy and smiley, whereas the English fans are just shouting things about people's girlfriends and wives and things.
At the cult, they had a unique way of applauding when I worked for the cult. Instead of clapping your hands or laughing or anything.
Oh, okay. Some people do that so as not to be aggressive, but Japan, I think, will be completely silent at a music gig, like silent, just watching, and then at the end it's very polite, very, even at gigs and stuff. That's what I hear. But yeah, and I think some of those fans as well at the World Cup will tidy the stadium. They'll stay behind and pick up rubbish and go up and down and clean. And even the players from the team will clean their dressing room as well, because most football dressing rooms have bottles of water and shit everywhere. But the players will stay behind and mop and clean.
Wow!
So it's just a different culture. They actually have morals and ethics.
Morals and ethics. Wow, I forgot what those are, but I'll look them up. I will look them up.
It's because we've got McDonald's and Netflix that we don't need to remember.
Right, and I don't even need Netflix. Steve Byrne, comedian Steve Byrne. He thinks his special is being repressed or suppressed on Amazon and not shown to people because he's too political towards the left. I think he's pretty like down the middle. Like he does make political jokes, but he aims at both people. But he thinks because he's got some humor aimed at the left, that they're suppressing his Amazon special. But every time I go on there, it's my number one suggestion. And I was at a friend's house, and I said, "Let me see your TV," and put on Amazon Prime. And it was number one suggested for him. It's just like, I don't know how come people think they're canceled when they're not, or being shadow banned. You know, what leads people to that conclusion? Because my friend said he didn't see it. Well, your friend was trying to get out of. He doesn't want to watch it, and he was looking for. Oh, I didn't even know it was on. You know, it was that kind of stuff. They'll never tell you the truth. Oh,
Yeah,
did you
but
see my special?
every homepage is designed for each person that watches it. So there probably are a lot of people that don't have it as their number one, but it's probably not people that are interested in comedy or whatnot. I don't know. It isn't on mine, but that's because I haven't watched any comedy on Amazon. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, his is pretty creative as far as the way he approached doing it. Especially did it as a mock-up of a late night talk show. Like, he's kind of got himself in the Johnny Carson position as a special, like it's all put on, but he's doing like the Steve Byrne talk show type of thing with a live band and
interesting.
monologue, and himself as a guest. Yeah, no,
I
it's a
don't watch
pretty.
I don't watch a lot of specials. So I mean, every now and then I used to watch more, but every now and then now I'll go back and watch a couple.
Oh
But
boy.
I'm
Well,
not really watching.
I've been looking for content for Live 365 Mind Dog Radio,
Yeah.
and I'm mixing in comedy with stuff. Now, maybe before I get into the comedy, I should tell you about Oasis. I go to look for Oasis, and I find Oasis songs I can put on there. But then suggestions for bands like Oasis around that time,
Mm.
and I'm just getting like bands that don't seem to fit that genre to me. I'm seeing a lot of '90s stuff, but they don't seem to fit. When I'm looking for bands like Oasis from that era, any that come to mind? Because I'm
Yeah,
getting Nirvana, you know,
yeah,
Pearl
that's
Jam.
before that's sort of grunge stuff. So after Verve, I'd say, or the Verve would be one. Ocean Colour Scene, Manic Street Preachers. Uh, they're a Welsh band. Jamie loves them. They're from Cardiff.
Yeah, I've heard, man. They got like the Rock Holy Bible or something, or
That's the first album, yeah.
yeah, yeah. But so I couldn't find any. I'm getting all these American goth bands, and I'm like, that's not Oasis. That's not the. I have those too. I'm adding those.
I'll
Uh,
send you some. I'll send you some mid-90s
the
indie rock.
Verve. I have two songs from the Verve. One of them is that Bittersweet Symphony, which I believe was a Rolling Stone song or something. They got sued about. I
Well,
don't.
they took it was from some cover. It was from an orchestral cover of the Rolling Stones, and they took a sample and played the sample. But then they got sued by the record company, and they didn't earn a penny forever until about 3 years ago.
Wow. Well, that
Even
sucks.
penny. So all the times you've heard it and all the adverts and all that shit, they didn't get a thing. So you used to complain about it, but they sorted it out about 3 years ago. So
Yeah.
now it gets paid.
Well, I've been also adding some comedy, and I added a clip from Richard Pryor that I think might get me banned from everywhere. But I added it anyway. I'm going to see how it goes because the licensing is getting paid for. It's on YouTube. It's around. It's Richard Pryor's mafia joke, but oh my God, it's like if somebody tried to do this today, black or white, whatever, it doesn't. I mean, the N word flowing around. Talking. He's putting on the mafiosa thing as telling a story about the mafiosos talking to him when he was a young kid, and of course the language is just like way over, way over anything anybody's getting canceled over today, like nonstop N words and F words and F words, not fuck, but
Yeah, I wonder how they react to that. I mean, it's a risk putting it on your account, isn't it? Like loads of N words flying around when you've just opened it, and then you'll complain
right.
when they turn it
And
off. But
and I'm trying to plan my comeback. Well, it's Richard Pryor. It's on every platform it's out there. I think it's from Live at the Sunset Strip. It's a little 3
yeah,
minute clip from that. I mean, it's been on HBO. How can you tell me that I should get canceled over something that's been around for
what
35, 40 years now?
Yeah, what made me, well, you definitely can, but what made me laugh was when they went after Louis, the 100th thing they went after Louis C.K. for. We found him saying the N-word on national television.
All
It was
right.
an HBO TV show
With Chris
where they
Rock.
sat around with Jerry Seinfeld and I think Ricky
Yeah.
Gervais and Chris Rock maybe. We found him. So he said it on fucking HBO.
Right.
You haven't discovered it. It was just on TV.
Yeah, it was a great discovery. It took archaeologists and we had NASA working on it, and we finally found it. And I think Chris Rock prompted him to say that somehow or another too.
Yeah,
So
it was I can't remember what it was, but there was some discussion, and it was just it's a funny thing to watch every now and then.
yeah.
But I do need to catch up on a few specials. I will watch a few. I don't watch them as regularly when they come out. I used to watch them when they come out as well, newer ones, but I just kind of stopped.
What happened with you last week? You
What's
had
that?
shows. You had shows scheduled that you didn't make or something, or no? Didn't you have one scheduled for you and Jamie for Friday?
Oh, Jamie's got some stuff. He's got some personal trauma, so he's not going to be back for a while.
Oh, I thought you were out missing again, because I know you were doing some weird streams at like 4 o'clock in the morning your time, because it was like 11 for me or something.
Doesn't sound like something I'd do.
Does it? You wearing the red wig again?
Nope.
Yes.
She don't tell me nothing. I don't know.
Now, did you get hit with any copyright strikes for?
Oh, I get that. I haven't got strikes, but because what they do is mute the video. But now they don't auto-publish, so it's generally fine. They generally just mute the whole thing. They do it to Brett Brock as well. They mute the whole thing, and that's it. But because I did it twice within 24 hours, they sent me an extra thing. It wasn't a strike, but they're really good actually. They could have given me loads of strikes, but they sent me an extra thing. Because you've done this, we've taken this off, and we'll let you take the opportunity to check if you have any copyrighted material. They're pretty good, but I now need to remember not to do it 2 days running. But people do it. Oh, Grumpy Mama played movies on her Twitch, and it's illegal, but most people seem to not really get caught. So,
is it movies that have gone into public domain yet? Because
no. Well, this movie's from like 95, I'd say, but I wouldn't say it's in public domain. It's a Mike Myers movie from the mid-90s.
Oh yeah.
So, but in general, there doesn't seem to be. I guess it takes their algorithm isn't that great, I guess, and it'll probably take a snitch to come in and report you, and then you'd be in trouble. But
do you have to use OBS or Streamlabs OBS or something to be on Twitch, or do you use StreamYard?
Because you're probably streaming as Twitch right now from StreamYard.
Yeah, but I thought to go there without StreamYard was the way to do it, to kind of gain traction on your channel or something. They didn't like feeds from StreamYard.
You can put a lot more interactive stuff with Streamlabs, but at the moment, my laptop isn't geared up for Streamlabs. It's just having a bit of a fit, so I'm going to try and set up on other stuff at some point. But eventually, I will use Streamlabs. I've got a Streamlabs account, and I've set up the look of it. It's just when I tried streaming from it, it was really laggy. So I just need to get another system. But yeah, most people use Streamlabs. You can do a lot of extra stuff, like bring the chat onto the screen and have little alerts and all that shit. People like the interactive stuff on Twitch.
That drives me crazy when you see the chat room all covering up people and chats flying and game.
You don't have to have all that, but the community in general likes it. It's like, but
weird. Yeah, I know the community likes it, which is why I thought about getting it and just putting like game shit on.
Because the one thing when you have alerts, StreamYard doesn't tell you, and it doesn't, because where we see the chat go up the side, you still see that, but there's a background of Twitch you can look at, which Streamlabs would also give you, but it's hard for me to see at the same time because it has a laggy stream up. But basically, if someone raids into the channel, which means they bring a load of people to watch with them, you don't get that notification unless you're looking at this other thing. But you should be able to have it up on a second monitor.
Somebody raided into me the other night when the woman hater guy, the guy who hates women, he was on, and I had 1,050 50 people on live. I was like, I don't know where all this fucking traffic's coming from.
Wow.
Turned out they were on Twitch. I don't know.
There we go. You have to see if they're good. But they're, like Henry Phillips will raid into Brett Brock and bring a few hundred in, like 500 people.
You know, Henry Phillips opened up for Robert Klein on Saturday night. Yeah, Saturday night. And people were raving about his name isn't even on the marquee. Like it's Saturday night Robert Klein. They don't say and Henry Phillips, any of that stuff. And all the people who did reviews, they didn't even mention Henry. That to me is a little sad. Like the guy comes all the way from California to open up for a big star. It's a big moment for him, and nobody even acknowledges him.
Yeah, people don't give a shit. If they're going to see one person, they don't give a fuck. In general, who's opening, you might see the odd comment, "Oh, and this person was good."
I can't, because I don't know. Henry's really funny to me. I would think somebody would have been like super impressed with what he does, because he's.
Well, I guess you haven't seen every single post about it, right, on every platform.
Yeah, they say Klein did an hour and a half at 90 years old, 90 minutes.
Oh, he's 90?
80 years old. I'm sorry. Did I say 90?
Still pretty good. It's still pretty good.
No, yeah, if 80, who's going to make it to 80? Are you going to make it to 80?
Paul McCartney does 3-hour gigs sometimes, and he's in his 80s. That's fucking insane to me.
He does 3-hour gig? Really? Wow.
He did a really long, not all the time, but he did a really long one a couple of years ago, I think. And it's like, fucking hell.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Keith Richards, his wife's birthday the other day, and he had a picture of her. A pretty current picture, because he's looked like that for a long time, so I don't know how long. But she's a hottie. Cool. You can see why he stays rocking. I mean, I would stay alive too if I had that smoking piece of woman.
Yeah, that Jagger Richards, they don't mess around. They're still rock stars, and even if they're 95, they're going to get like a 45-year-old or whatever.
That's a shame. They just throw some crumbs to me. I'm going to die soon. Good. Leave some of them rock star women.
You could probably get one. You know, slightly mentally damaged, no father.
Oh, I got that.
Yeah,
I have that. Not slightly, completely mentally damaged. Yeah, but it is what it is. There are, my brother went to the doctor on Saturday morning, and he said, "Come on, doc, give it to me straight, because he's got cancer. He's got terminal cancer, stage 4 cancer." He said, "Give it to me straight. How long do I have?" And doc said, "I don't know. Maybe you got 6 months. Maybe you got 5 years. Maybe you got 10 years." He said, "You're in good shape right now." He said, "Here's the good news. Maybe you have longer than we thought. Bad news is it's gonna suck." It's like, I don't want to live another 10 years if he's got bone cancer and all kinds of stuff now. Like, it's in his bones, but still going to work every day. I would have quit a long time ago. Like, fuck that. I quit.
Oh yeah.
I'm not working. I'm not working. I'm dying. But for him, I think it's his escape from. It's the time to take it off his mind. Plus, this is why I brought it up. He still thinks about women, and I'm like, dude, you got it perfect. You're a bachelor. You got nobody to worry about. Nobody to listen to. You're forgetting that once you get with them, it's all hell. So, so he has a lot of women that he works with, that he's friends with. He went on a date. I was like, why? Why would you go on a date? Just fucking, if you need to masturbate, but bang it out and forget about women. At this point, why? Why? Listen to me. Listen to your brother. I care about you. Why torture? You got cancer. Why the hell would you want a woman on top of having cancer?
It's a stress increaser, isn't it? You're gonna start dating.
Yeah, because nothing you ever do is going to be good enough, or women are just. I don't know how do I want to say this. They are just people who are put in your life to tell you what's wrong with you, what you're doing wrong, where you're failing, and to nag you about it. That's a woman's purpose in life.
They're pretty good. They're pretty good at it.
So why would you want one? Especially if you're dying. I don't know. I can't talk sense into him though. He's gonna keep going down that road, and God bless him. So I don't know. I
Well, he's
wouldn't.
got terminal cancer, so he won't keep going down the road. But
Yeah.
I didn't mean that. That came out a bit mean. I didn't mean it like that.
Yeah.
So I think it's something funny.
I ordered marijuana online last night.
Marijuana, the weed.
Online. I have a feeling it's a legitimate purchase, and it might actually come. It was a test run because even though it's legal in some states in New York,
Yeah,
it's still to mail it to a state or mail it across state lines is like a federal crime. It's a mail.
no, they're not going to find it though. Are they? It'll be sealed up, like double sealed up, and that kind of stuff. You'll be fine.
That's probably true. I'm not worried about them finding it, but I'm surprised that a company would engage in that because it's a federal crime, and if it's online, the feds could say, "Well, you're doing stuff that we know." That's how they got Tommy Chong. That's what he went. He wasn't selling weed. He was doing bongs, but it was across state lines, and the mailing of the paraphernalia across state lines was the federal crime that they got him on.
So it's not from New York then.
It's the site is called Moody, but Mood, and I guess they're in a bunch of different states, but they don't say.
I heard you can get mushrooms in New York from the shops, like mushroom chocolate and stuff.
I didn't know about that. I know in Oregon you can not.
Well, yeah, I knew. Yeah, that's right, Oregon and maybe Denver, but that's weird because someone posted that they brought a mushroom chocolate from a dispensary, and I'm sure they said they were in New York. Wow. It might not have been legal. They might have been selling it under the counter. I don't know. It might be one of those brands.
That's possible too. I mean, you never know, but no, I don't think hallucinogenics or psychedelics or any of that stuff. Legal, no.
Yeah, they did say dispensary, so it's obviously some guys like, wait, I've got some cool stuff. If you want some cool stuff, like in a bag.
My package is supposed to come by Wednesday, I believe, and that I'm really curious to know if it's for real or not, because my dispensary was out of flour anyway, so that's why I went there. Let's see, but the pictures, it looked really pretty, nice purple hair, and I'm into that stuff, purple hair and purple hair. Purple rain. No.
Yeah, Moody. No, I don't know. I was waiting for you to say. I didn't know you wanted me to join in as well. The last time I sang that was in Bristol at 1 a.m. about 5-6 years ago. I have a specific number.
What we sang at one time, the Pope died. It was like 2007 or something, and it was on while we were setting up for the gig. It was on the news, and they were saying it's the beginning of a new papal reign. And we all started saying, "Papal rain, papal rain."
That's not bad.
Beginning of a new, the old smoke out of the chimney thing or whatever, white smoke with the Cardinals, the Mood team. Hello, Mood team. Your order is now on the way. So it seemed legitimate. They're sending me follow-ups and all this stuff. Order details. But I got a quarter of 7 grams. What is that? That's a quarter of an ounce for $68. That's a good deal. Let me tell you. 7 grams of blackberry glocks for $68.
It sounds like whatever it is, it's going to work.
Yeah. Well, I said that to the guy in the dispensary the other day. Like, he said, well, I said, you got any flour? He's got pre-rolls. I said, I can't get high. There's something wrong with me. No matter how I try, no matter what I smoke, what I eat. Because I had these Mike Tyson bites. Are you familiar with Mike Tyson bites?
Oh, you got the ears?
They're shaped like ears, yeah.
Yeah, with a bit taken out, right? It's a Holyfield stuff. The
right,
Evander Holyfield. Yeah.
Yeah. Mike Tyson bites. It's 300 milligrams of edibles. I could eat those I could eat the whole fucking bag. I don't feel a thing. There's something wrong with me. I'm like,
yeah, but you say that, and then you'll eat too much, and then you'll be high for 3 days again. Like you have been twice.
Craig Johnson says, "Why don't you stick some seeds in the ground?" First of all, I'm going to. It's not quite time here yet, Craig. The ground is still hard from the winter here. It's harder than my brother is. I don't know why I went there, but I plan on trying to grow some weed again this year. I don't know if you saw my results from last year. I had some starter plants that Ralphie gave me. He gave me them in June. He gave them to Jackie in June. Jackie's grew up to be as tall as me. Mine grew up to be like almost to my shin. They were like this big. I have a brown thumb. So while I'm going to be growing weed, I don't expect to harvest any.
Inside, like with lamps and shit.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
Ralph grows his inside and outside. But no, I have all this land back there and plenty of sun, and it's good farmland.
Weed farm. Why not get a weed farm and just tell the wife it's fucking turnips or something?
Yeah, but it's just me. Nothing grows for me. Nothing grows for
me too. My friends grow lots of really nice chili plants and all this, and I try to grow chilies, and I might get one that's this big or two, and then that's it. So I need to read. I need to research.
What? No, man. They have portobello at Smith's. What does that mean? I know portobello is mushrooms, right?
He's speaking of Conway. Yeah. So I think it's a joke.
Oh yeah, mushrooms.
Shout out to Conway. Have a good. If it's a gig to go into Dakota for, have a good one.
Yeah, you can get mushrooms in New Mexico. No, Craig's saying he checked. Why is Craig checking? I thought he was abstaining from all that stuff, which is why he didn't want to go to the desert with me 2 years ago. How many plants can you grow in New York? Here it's 6 per adult in the house. Same thing here. But nobody's going around checking. I never seen a marijuana counting crew. How many plants you got in your yard? And to go, they'd have to have a warrant to come into your house to check, right? How many plants you got growing in the house? If it was outside, they can count them, but they can't just go into your house and say how many without a warrant. Nobody's sticking to that fucking rule. That's basically read the whole text. I did read the whole text. It just took a while. I didn't know there was a conversation going on. I'm sorry, man.
Who follows laws? What? This is very strange. He gives a shit.
I think I do follow laws for the most part.
Mostly, but occasionally it's like, it's more advisory. I'll take that as advisory that I shouldn't be doing this.
This is true. Now, yesterday, it's good you brought that up. Yesterday, I was sitting in one of these turning lanes with a red arrow, meaning you can't go. I was first in line, and just as that light was going to change, somebody comes up from the straight on line, and she in this gigantic SUV, like an SUV that is like a personal semi truck or something. Like she needs a Prius to drive around her car.
The lady going to Whole Foods, right? Is what it is. She's
and she's just gonna cut in front of me, which I thought was kind of rude, but I get it. She missed the turn off, so she comes over. But before the light changes, she goes through it, and she almost gets hit by like 3 cars doing 70 miles an hour coming through. It's like, man, that's the worst driving I've ever seen in my life. And then she stops at a stop sign and just sits there for like a minute.
Yeah,
I'm like,
we know she's a cunt because she's driving an SUV around town. So already there's something wrong with her. And she's going to be driving bad, of course. And then because she's in a massive thing, it doesn't matter to her. She's up high. It doesn't matter. If she has a small knock, it doesn't matter. She'll be fine.
Yeah. I think William's onto something. I need a tolerance break. I think he's onto something. I definitely need to stop getting high at all. But if you live my life, you can't stop getting high at all. It's too much stress. All right, you got to go. I got to go anyway.
I've got to go in like the next 30 seconds, yeah.
Yeah, well, it's time. I got to go in the next 30 seconds, too. For the people on Live 365, thanks for being here. And tomorrow, John Locken, join me for that. All right. All right. I'm going to say, where's my, I got to look for my thing. Turn on your radio. I'm getting out of here. Have a great day. Bye.
Turn it on.
me, listen to me now. Listen to me, listen to me, listen to me now.